Welcome to all students of BCom, BBA and other learners. In the previous sessions, we learnt introductory part of cost accounting. Now we are jumping into element-wise learning in the cost accounting. The first element that we are taking is materials. You know very well, material forms about 50% of the cost of production. That is the reason material is very important in learning and applying the techniques to control the cost. In turn, which results more profit than earlier. Students, let us go through the presentation in understanding the materials. In this session, we discuss basic understanding of materials, techniques available in materials, and we also discuss in detail out of 6 techniques. We discuss 3 techniques in this presentation for better understanding of cost accounting techniques. Let us see the first one, that is understanding of materials. Materials refers to all commodities consumed in the process of manufacturing. A very simple statement educates us as far as the importance of materials concerned. In the whole manufacturing process, materials represents the commodities, various materials which are used in the process of manufacturing or production of goods. SIMA UK also gave one sentence about the material, the cost of commodities supplied to an undertaking. Here the important aspect is cost of materials which are consumed. So the cost is very important as far as the material concerned in computing, control and improving the efficiency, including the profitability. Usually more than 50% of the total product cost is material cost. In the initial slide also I told you very clearly, out of material, labor and overheads, material contribution in the production of a good is more, which is about 50%. Means the other components like labor and overheads contribution is less than 50% in the production of goods. Let us focus on the next concept called classification of materials. All the materials that are consumed are classified into 2 parts: direct materials and indirect materials. Direct materials, it is a cost that which can be conveniently identified and allocated to cost units. So what do you mean by conveniently identified? Conveniently identified as a raw material, conveniently identified part of the finished goods. Means by using raw material and other consumables, we produce goods. In the finished good, identification of the raw material used is very convenient and easy. Those kind of materials are known as direct materials. Once the identification is over, another aspect will come as far as the direct material is concerned. The other aspect is allocation of these consumed materials these consumed direct materials, that cost should be allocated to the cost units. And no need to discuss about cost units in detail, because in the introductory part of the cost accounting, in various sessions, we have discussed in detail about the cost units. Cost unit can be persons, cost unit can be department, cost unit can be a procedure, and so on. And to those cost units, allotment of the cost, allocation of the cost of materials consumed is also very easy as far as the direct material is concerned. Second one is indirect material, which cannot be conveniently identified with individual cost units. Means identification is one problem, allocation is other problem. Actually both are interlinked. Once the identification is not convenient, allocation is also very difficult. So once the identification of material consumed in the finished goods is easy or identifiable, then allocation of cost is also easy. So these features are applicable to direct material, and identification not possible and allocation is very difficult are the features of indirect materials. In the case of indirect materials also, you can go for subclassification. Like some of the indirect materials are part of finished goods, but whose presence is very small and negligible, like bolts, nuts, etc. In the entire finished product, bolt, nut, screw are very important, but at the same time their value and their presence is very negligible when compared to the whole finished product. And some of the indirect materials may not become part of finished good, like coal, gas, oil used. In the process of production of those finished goods, all these are used. All these consumables are part and parcel of the production process. But they are not visible, they are not identifiable, they are not part of the finished goods. So these are the two kinds of materials which you can see part and parcel of the indirect material. Dear students, no cost accounting system can become effective without proper and efficient control of material. Why this statement is mentioned separately? To understand the importance of the materials. Cost accounting system is incomplete when there is no proper and efficient control of materials. Why we are focusing especially on materials control? Means materials contribution in the production is 50%. So you have to control them for a good costing system, which in turn results in the form of efficiency as well as profitability. Now let us shift our focus to another important aspect of materials. Objectives of material control, which is also called as objectives of inventory control. The 6 important objectives are identified and presented in our discussion. No understocking. When the material is properly controlled, understocking will come down. What do you mean by understocking? Our requirement is more, means consumption levels are high, but the material available in the godown is less. Means there is a mismatch, or there is a difference, there is a gap between the requirement of consumables and stored consumables in the inventory or in the godown. That we can avoid with the help of methods available or techniques available in the costing and materials. No overstocking, it is reverse of the above. Our requirements is less, but the storage is more. and the usage of this stored item is very less because of the requirement is less. So overstocking also a burden on the businessman in the form of other expenses like financial expenses, similarly godown rent, insurance, etc. So overstocking is also again a burdensome on the businessman as far as the raw materials concerned. So similar to that of understocking, overstocking can be avoided by applying the materials control techniques. Third one, very important one, minimum wastage. As we discussed in the introductory chapter of cost accounting, some standards are set for material, labor, or even overhead. That standards signifies or clarifies how much material to be consumed to produce a particular finished product. So this standard costing or the standard set for the materials very much useful to avoid the wastage as far as the usage of material to produce a finished product. Once the wastage is reduced, the cost will be under control, and that results in various positive aspects to the business. Economy in purchase. Instead of purchasing regularly, instead of purchasing rarely, also creates some problem, and which in turn keeps burden on the businessman. So when to place an order for purchase, whether number of orders to be increased or number of orders to be decreased, whether the quantity in every order to be increased or decreased, that will be discussed, and by applying few of the techniques available in the inventory control system, which helps in reducing the cost of purchase and order cost, etc. Proper quality of materials. So far we are talking about only the how to reduce the cost, but inventory control or the material control also helps the quality aspect also, whether the goods are in quality or not. If the quality is not there, then the next decision will be taken how to improve the quality and improve the production process also. So mere focusing on cost aspect is not enough. That is the reason material control also focuses on quality, material availability and usage in the production process. Information about materials. As we keep on recording all the information in the form of various records, that information helps us in taking proper decisions. Again, in turn, this information helps in controlling the cost, reducing the cost, and improving the profitability, increasing the efficiency as far as usage of materials consumed or used in the process of production. So dear friends, these are the 6 important objectives as far as materials control concerned. Now very important segment of our presentation is techniques of material control or inventory control. So about 6 techniques are presented, in which again there is a subdivision as far as the first technique concerned. The very first one is ABC technique, VGD technique, FNSD technique and JIT technique. We discuss in detail about these 4 as far as their importance in the materials management. We have perpetual inventory system, means continuous basis, proper storage of materials, how to store and how to record the stored material quantity as well as value or the cost in the records, proper purchase procedure, that also we discuss in detail. EOQ, economic order quantity, how many orders that we have to place so that the orders will be economy and benefit to the business. And finally, we also discuss in detail another important technique called stock levels. What should be the minimum stock level, maximum stock level, and so on in controlling the costs. Those techniques we discuss in detail. Now let us start with the first one, ABC technique. ABC technique is based on value of the material. More valuable materials are given greater attention and care. Means quality aspects are not taken here, only the what is the value of the material. If the value of the material is more, then first priority will be given. Utmost care is also taken as far as the storage concerned. Based on the value, the materials are classified like high value materials, medium value materials, and low value materials. And high value materials are termed with A, medium value materials are termed with B, low value materials are termed with C. Means A items, B items, C items. A items represents high value, B items represents medium value, C items represents low value. But very interestingly, A item material, small percentage of the items handled. When you club all the materials that are used and consumed in the production process, the percentage of materials of A is very small. Means volume point of view it is small, but value point of view, cost point of view, it is very high. B items, value also normal and the quantity also normal. C items, volume concerned, number of items concerned, it is very high, huge. More number of materials will be falling under this, but very interestingly, the more number of materials, cost and value is very less. So based on the value, the materials are divided and presented A item, B item and C item. Now for further understanding, let us see advantages of them. On large amount of capital invested, material closure and strict control can be exercised. As the A category requires huge capital, then strict control can be exercised. Regulation of funds and can be utilized in the best possible way. When the control is effective by using the ABC technique, and funds can be used properly for all in a possible way for the better usage. Economy in stock carrying cost is achieved. That is also discussed while discussing the C category goods. Now, instead of going through these advantages in theory form, let us observe this illustration with the arbitrary figures. These are not taken from any company or a business house. This is only arbitrary figures for understanding the ABC technique. So on the screen you can see category A, B, C kind of raw materials, percentage of total value, percentage of quantity, both are given. ABC is based on value based, cost based, not on the quantity based. But you can observe very carefully. Category A, value concerns 70% out of the total material used during the production process, but whose quantity is only 10. So type of control, strict control is required. Quantity is less, but controlling requirement is high because of the value, which is 70%. B, total value is 25%, but the quantity used in the production process of material is 30. Moderate control is required. On the other hand, C category, whose value is very less, but very interestingly, the total quantity is 60%, which is huge. So the controlling requirement is not that much required, not that strictness is required as far as the C category or C item materials concerned. This gives you a better understanding of the technique called ABC. For further understanding, let us see these two also, one illustration as well as one pictorial representation of the ABC technique. On the graph, we have two axes, X and Y. On X-axis, total quantity is taken, means volume of materials that we have. Similarly, on the Y-axis, total value is taken. What is the value of each item like A, B and C? Now observe carefully. A category, quantity of A category is only 10% out of 100, but on the Y-axis it shows the value of the same 10% quantity is 70%. Means number is very less, but the value is very high as far as A category concerned. Similarly, B category, between 10 and 40 means 30% of the quantity is B category items, and the value of the same 30% is between 70 and 95, means 25% of the value of the total materials consumed is B category. And the third one is between 40 and 100, means 60% of the quantity is C item material, and the value is only 5%, between 95 and 100% value. This particular picture educates us in understanding in a better way as far as the ABC analysis concerned. A small problem is also presented here for a better understanding. You need not use the calculator or any technique is to be applied, just rearrangement based on your understanding. In the problem, 4 columns are mentioned: number of varieties of inventory, percentage of it in the total material, percentage of value of inventory holding average, and percentage of inventory usage in end product. Now you see here, first one, 3875 varieties are there, different screws, nuts and other materials, which is equal to 96, approximately 97% of the total materials consumed, and value concerned only 20%. When you take the volume or the quantity, it is almost 97%, but the value is 20%. And percentage of inventory usage is only 5% in the end product. In the finished product, it consists of only 5%. Similarly, other things also given. Now what is asking? Classify the items of inventory as per the ABC. What you have to do here? You have to rearrange them not on the basis of quantity but on the basis of value. So A, B, C are mentioned in the category. Number of items in A category are 15 based on the above question, but percentage of value is 50 based on the third column, and usage is 85 based on the fourth column. Similarly, B and C also presented, whose value is 30% and 20%, and percentage of usage only 10% and 5%. This is the best way of understanding, though they are arbitrary figures, which gives you more clarity on understanding the ABC analysis. This is the technique number 1 in the materials control or inventory control system. Let us take number 2, VED analysis. The materials are classified on the basis of their criticality. Earlier we are considering the value. Now we are considering the criticality. Criticality based classification is known as VED analysis. This is also one way of controlling the materials. V means vital material, E means essential material, D means desirable material. So as far as V concerned, these are out of stock. When these are out of stock or when these are not readily available, the production activity may comes to complete halt. Means immediately the production may be stopped because of non-availability or not readily available in our premises. Vital importance. Second one is essential materials, without which temporary losses of production or dislocation of production work occurs. Means temporary disruption of the production or losses may incurred because of non-availability of the essential materials, falling under the second category. Their stock out cost is very high. Keeping them in the stores is very costly affair. That is another important aspect of essential material. D category means desirable material. These are necessary but do not cause any immediate effect on production. If they are available, it goes smooth. The production process will be very smooth and finished product will be effective. But their non-availability may not be stopped as far as the production concerned. So based on the criticality, based on their availability and impact on the production, this classification is made called VED, vital, essential and desirable material. The third category, FS&D analysis, classified according to their rate of consumption. You just observe, every classification is not based on the value or cost, but based on different characteristics. First one, value. Second one, criticality. Now third one, FNSD, based on the rate of consumption. At what rate this is consumed, whether fastly or slowly, etc. So FNSD itself denotes fast moving, normally moving, slow moving and dead stock. Fast moving consumed in short span of time. Very fastly they are consumed in the production process. Normal moving, exhausted over a period of time, may be used some bit slow. Slow moving lasts for more than 1 year. Means consumption is also slow and their life lasting is also generally more than a year. And dead stock, no further demand. These are not moving out of the warehouse because demand is not there as far as the consumption concerned. In the near future also no demand is observed for this stock, which is called no moving or dead stock. This is FNSD analysis. All these materials falling under FNSD should be constantly monitored and timely replacement order need to be placed. Very high-end observation is required, monitoring is required, which helps in ordering the materials whenever they required. This analysis also helps in controlling obsolescence of various items. Outdatedness. Obsolescence means outdatedness. If fast moving are there, if you are not controlling them properly, they may become obsolete. Means not useful, because of their perishability because of their usage. Now go to the fourth technique available in the cost material control. Just in time, most popular method of recent times. It is one of the modern technique available and used in the modern production process, which was developed by Toyota Motor Company, Japan. This just-in-time technique is also called with other name called zero inventory system. Means once you use this technique, your inventory in the godown or warehouse is zero. Once this system is followed, the carrying cost and other costs involved in the storage will be under control. Maintain minimum level of inventory and rely on supplier for parts and components under JIT method to meet the assembly and production of requirements. Means instead of keeping huge stores in the warehouse, minimum levels are maintained by using this technology related technique called JIT, and where dependence on supplier is high. Every time you place the order by using the technology, maybe internet or intranet or some other method, goods will be supplied by supplier to meet your requirements of the production, to consume the materials for the proper uninterrupted process of the production. This is JIT, a new technique available in the materials management. Next one is perpetual inventory system. Current balance of stores is always shown in records. Any receipts is being added to and any issue being deducted from the balance after each transaction. It is as simple as understanding you are maintaining always what is the current balance of stores, materials in the godown, for which two things will be done. For the current balance, A, addition of purchases. Any receipts or any purchases of material will be added. And B is whenever you are issuing materials to the any production process from your warehouse, you are deducting from the same balance. Means only three things are there: current balance, additions whenever there is a receipt or purchase, deduction whenever there is a issue of material to the production process. This system is called perpetual inventory system, where the process goes on and inventory will be always there in the godown. Records used here are two in this system. One is bin card, other one is stores ledger. Required information is written on bin card and stores ledger. Later a comparison will be made. A detailed discussion will take place as far as understanding bin card and stores ledger in the coming classes. Continuous stock taking means regular checkup will be taken and how much stock is there is updated on regular basis. Stock figures means quantity as well as value point of view. Whenever you are interested to know, whenever you want to see, they are available because continuously recorded. Moral check on the staff also possible, as well as materials availability and management concern. This is a detailed and reliable check method when compared to all other methods as far as storage concerned. After perpetual system, let us come to another technique available is storage of materials, which is also called as store stores records. We have two important records called bin card and stores ledger, of which bin card is considered as one of the important record. Bin is a container in which materials are kept. I will show you one picture also, a traditional model of bin, and for each material stored in the bin, a separate card is maintained called bin card. In other words, bin card shows the detailed receipts and issue of materials at the same time, which also gives balance in stock at any point of time. So bin is a alamara kind of material in which stores are kept, and a record of stores will be made in the record called bin card, in which your current balance, additions of receipts and deductions whenever they are issued will be done, and updated information is expected at every point of time. The general purpose of bin will be like this, a normal furniture kind. Now this is the bin card. For every material stored in the bin, this card is maintained. Bin number will be there, description about the goods, code of the material is also recorded, and store ledger portfolio. Means from here the information is transferred to store ledger, that page number of the store ledger is written here. Similarly, minimum level, how much to be maintained, at what point of time reorder is to be made, and reordered quantity is how much, at what time we have to order, at how much quantity we have to order. Every information is there in the bin card, and details will be like this: date, whenever they are received, both reference number of the receipt and quantity; whenever they are issued, reference number and quantity; and what is the balance out of receipts, how many issued and what is the balance; and finally stock verification, on which date the stock is verified. Initial means signature of the person who is verifying the stock. At regular interval this is maintained, so which gives you more information or clarity of information as far as the bin card and materials in the stores concerned. Dear students, during the last 35-40 minutes, the introductory part of materials management is discussed. Initially, for a couple of minutes, we tried in understanding the meaning of materials and the importance of materials, as it contributes 50% of the production unit. In the second stage, we have started discussing the techniques of materials or inventory management. So far, we have discussed 6 techniques, and remaining techniques left over are discussed in the presentation 2, that is next presentation. So far discussed are VED analysis, FNSD analysis, JIT analysis, perpetual inventory, and stores management in the form of bin card. So dear friends, we are closing now. Remaining techniques of materials will be discussed in the next class. Before attending the next class, go through once again or go through the notes that you have made during this presentation and come to attend this session number 2 on the materials management. Thank you.